results over the course of Stage 1 and also over the course of last year as well. This was one of their most prominent maps as well, so we're really turning towards the Chiefs to bring a pretty strong map against Damon Kia, especially because they're starting on the attacking half.
That's exactly it. A huge opportunity now for DAMWON to kick off this series with a bang. And that Nomad is banned out. The Yana as well, so no ARXs on either of those operators going to be present in the server. But more importantly, flanks, fair game. And all the Yana utility gone.
Yeah, and I feel like it's Yas's Iana banned out here, if anything, to be honest. We do see him on it quite a lot, and he's a bit of a demon. Smoke actually being banned out as well from the side of the Chiefs will make this defense quite interesting. Less rotation holes able to be made with that extra shotgun, and most importantly, less planter now. So getting access to place like the Office half wall, for example, or the half wall even in bar games for that default plant, much more difficult to deny.
Funnily enough, I just had an inkling that I remembered a smoke ban coming out on Chalet with the Chiefs game recently. And it was actually an OCN. Vertex banned smoke against the Chiefs.
Right.
I think we cast that game together, maybe?
It would have been a Chalet game.
Yeah, it was, exactly. Yeah, naturally that's... I mean, there you go.
Anyway.
Chalet for you. And I just thought, yeah, that's a bit strange. Like, Ethan plays a really mean smoke on this map, but nonetheless, I mean, I think as the game progresses, we're really going to get to see the full effects of these bans. This is going to be a huge series, and this is only the beginning. This is also the end, though. Sadly, Manny, I'm gonna say it. This is our last cast together during the APAC playoffs.
It's the end. I'm honestly really devastated that this is the final day on the cast, but if anything, I'm glad that it's these two teams as my final cast. Both of these teams, super hype, and I know that they're gonna give me a great final cast here in Apex.
It has been so much fun working with you, Mandy, and I'm sure that we will continue casting in the future, but Brandon Langiano, Mr. Raven, will be back to cast the final playdays next week. However, anyone watching, there is something you should do. It's go and follow Mandy on Twitter, RepelR6.
Dev is apparently going to teach me how to use Twitter.
Because you simply don't know how to use Twitter.
I'm sorry.
You got to promote yourself, Mandy, all right?
Okay. Dev's going to help me build my Twitter brand, guys.
Yeah, all right. Can we get Mandy to 1,000 followers by the end of this week?
Oh, gosh, that's a bit ambitious.
Well, we'll see how we go, all right? We'll see how we go. And look, the Chiefs are going to see how they go on this attack. They got to choose attack as it is DAMWON's map pick, and so we expect the Chiefs to start strong. Boydie's already in the building. Love that angle. All the way from the big car garage, taking out the default camera in Solarium through 2 different floors.
The Chiefs now shaping up for a solar-based attack. Bouncer now on the west balcony, starting to peek in through the windows, looking for the first pick, or playing a cutoff into the round. And there we go. Rin takes the fight onto Bouncer, actually playing those cutoffs, and that gives the defenders free reign to rotate between the sides.
Every single time Chiefs have an opening engagement, it's just going to be Bouncing in that opening engagement. Every single time DAMWON have an opening engagement, it's going to be Rin. And so that is absolutely a telltale sign of what you're going to expect all series. It's going to be a battle between these two players of who's getting those opening picks.
Someone will have to replace Bouncing eventually on this west balcony for the pressure, but for now, we turn our attention to Solar, Ethan, and Digital now on the repels, starting to get open the wall that faces into Office. That will get open nice and easy, nothing to trick it there for the Chiefs.
That is a huge, deep line of sight now for the Aussies and Kiwis to use to lock down that bomb site. Speaking of locking down, it's Worthy himself on the trophy balcony. Wow. Surely there was there info there or something? Katsung really felt that pressure. Lovely bit of vertical. What? Through two floors? You never see that from Boydie.
Wow, that is an excellent C4 coming out from Boydie. Really phenomenal work to know exactly where that placement had to go on the vertical, and that really puts a dent in the defense of Damon Kia. That's one of your major power positions now taken out, seemingly from just about nowhere, not able to be refragged. Bantam will double down with a Claymore, and Ethan finds the entry into Boogeyman. Now a 2 versus 4 left for the Chiefs.
They might have started strong with the opening pick, but since then, DAMWON have not found anything. The Chiefs have come into this round with some big pressure.
Yokai drones though, and only 30 seconds. And Yes has just found an
yes!
And 2. Starting to claw back the round now for Damon Kia. These Yokai drones still haven't been dealt with, and the kit cold on the ground.
Huge pressure now on Worthy and Ethan. They have to step up. They have to get in there and get the job done. Their team was at a 4 versus 2, and now with just 10 seconds left, they've got to pick up the pieces. Yas goes down, and they do close the rounds. A perfect mop-up from those two players, and that is the first round in the books for Chiefs.
The Chiefs, a little bit of a shaky start. They're losing Bouncin early on that west balcony, but eventually able to claw it back. An excellent vertical nade through the floor to take out one of the major power positions for Damon Kia. Meant that Chiefs, they had that access into the bomb site. They had the access into the building that they needed to eventually close out the round.
I'm getting the chills. I'm getting some goosebumps.
Getting some goosebumps.
Knowing what's at stake here for both of these teams, a spot at the major. The last major we had was the 6 major Sweden in November in Gävle. And both of these teams attended. Chiefs, it was their first ever international event as a team. And while they had a valiant effort, they unfortunately didn't make it to playoffs. At that same event, DAMWON Kia managed to get to the semi-finals and were 1 kill, one versus 1 away from defeating FaZe, the eventual champions, and going to the grand finals, which no APAC team has ever done before. And ever since then, the entire world has looked to DAMWON Kia to be that team from APAC, to make waves, to take the APAC region to the next level on the international stage. But if they lose this series, they won't even go to the major.
Like you said, here they are. All that hype, but in the lower bracket of all things. And fighting the Chiefs as well, who are looking to make a reappearance at the international stage. So both the stories for both these teams, it's so hard to say goodbye to one of them, you know? Like each story is just such big hype and would be massive heartbreak to say goodbye to one of them. The Chiefs now shaping up for their push into bar and games. Bouncin and Ethan starting to get control of the basement, setting up dual claymores, one for the hatch drop and one for the door, to make sure that no flanks can come through the basement.
Do really like that setup. Of course, if you missed the memo, there's been a buff recently to claymores. Now, instead of getting 1 claymore, every operator that has claymores gets 2 claymores. That's pretty nice. It kind of reminds me of what happened with the hard breach charges.
Yep.
And we've seen now both claymores and hard breach charges come a little bit more into the meta as a result of that buff.
I think it's quite exciting how the secondary gadgets have actually shaped the meta so much, right? Think her, when she came out, she was unspoken of. No one would play her, right? But now she's got an LMG, 2 grenades and a Gon 6. Suddenly, this is like your most important entry ever on the attack. And she's just in every game, or if not banned out of every game. So yeah, it's really odd how these secondary gadgets have really shaped up this game recently in the last few months. Yas is now actually looking for a cheeky roam here on the kitchen side. Very elusive. Not sure if Chiefs are aware of his presence.
And DAMWON will have to rely on this roam, as we saw just a couple of moments ago. Digital on the Maverick opened up a line of sight into stock. Wasn't able to find a kill on the player in stock, but now that does essentially nullify the position for DAMWON, which means these roamers will need to have an impact. For now, though, the Chiefs play fairly slow, using the drones, watching their flanks, waiting for DAMWON to make the first move.
The Chiefs now starting to look for control up in this library top floor. Now power position still held here for Coded and Rin. Lots of utility has actually come out from the Chiefs here as well, trying to clear some of these positions, but no nades to connect yet. That's a second nade going out for Digital as well, but I don't think that will find anything. So the Chiefs, only 40 seconds left. Not much progress has been made and no casualties for either team.
This will need to be explosive from the Chiefs because they haven't fully cleared this top floor. They really don't have as much map control as they would like.
Shock.
Bouncin now looking to make a play up blue. Everyone will have to make a play here and converge onto the site with the support of Worthy. Bouncin now going down to Woogie Man, but only 18 seconds left to go for the Chiefs.
Oh, and Worthy, though, somehow sneaks past. He finds the first player, but is immediately traded on back. A 4v2 now for DAMWON as Ethan and Boydie try to pick up the pieces. There's a nice pick for Ethan, but an immediate trade from Kutsung, making it only the captain of the Chiefs to try and desperately make something work, but unfortunately too little and too late for the Chiefs as DAMWON can tie up the round count.
Unfortunately, the Chiefs are not able to find anything on that sort of probe attack that they were looking for onto not just Library, but really the entire map. The way that Chiefs approach Chalet is actually quite interesting to me. It's quite different to how most other teams approach it, and that is that just take every part of the map that you possibly can and try and capitalize on a mistake from the defense, right? Damon Kia, They play a lot of Chalet. This is their map pick. You cannot count on Damon Kia to make a misstep, run into your line of sight by accident, fall to a nade or something like that. Damon Kia, they know that they have the power positions. They know they have their shields and their ADSs to support them, and they won't run into the side of the Chiefs. So it was on the onus of Chiefs to try and find an in into that round, and they couldn't figure it out in time.
But that does mean that Damon Kia are now locked out of bar and games for 2 rotations now, forcing them back to the bomb site that they lost in the first round of Master Office. We saw Chiefs deal with this quite handily, get an early 4 versus 2. DAMWON brought it back to a 2-on-2, and Chiefs did clean up. I like the Frost pick here, and I like these aggressive Frost mats on the opposite side of the map, just ensuring that Chiefs don't, well, I mean, if they don't drone and they don't do their due diligence, they will lose a lot of HP and time early on into the round. Wookieman actually managed to get that drone in kitchen. I really like that. He picked up his Mozzie Pest and hunted down that drone. Bit more info now for the defense.
Well, just doubling down on the Frost pick, because the Chiefs leave these executes till quite late, as we've seen in the last 2 rounds. If that Frost mat, that's exactly the one that I was about to talk about, someone might try and hop through bathroom for a late round execute, and that's probably not what you're going to be thinking about 20 seconds left of the round as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on those Frost mats throughout the round, see if they have any impact onto the Chiefs. The Chiefs now shaping up once again to do a solar clear, both Digital and Ethan once again on the rappel with the utility that they need to open up the solar wall. But this time, there's vertical lines to stop that.
That does mean that Chiefs will have to deny Wookieman downstairs, who will try and shoot off any hard breach utility. That said, there's no ranged hard breach here. It's just the thermite. Boyd is now downstairs. He played the sledge last time. We've seen a lot of operator shuffles here on both sides. In particular, I'm curious to see Worthy on the Flores. Don't know exactly what he's aiming to get rid of on that, but just look at how many DAMWON players are downstairs.
Damwon, they really want to defend this wall, and I think it's worked out in their favor actually with this thermite pick. Digital has to swing in and put his thermite charge physically on the wall, which is very dangerous to do with those vertical lines open. But this time, Bounson does have control of this balcony, so at least the Chiefs are getting away a little bit more in the early round.
Bit of a game of cat and mouse. A standoff. Neither team wants to make the first move, as Chiefs are simply waiting for DAMWON to overextend to get them a pick, as Chiefs figure out, like you said, how they readjust their plan based on the difference of utility they have compared to last time. The temptation to swing on in is great, but there'd be a huge risk for Chiefs to try and go for it. In fact, it seems to be a rotation here. Perhaps the call that Chiefs are changing their push. Digital is maybe going to be going for an office execute instead of Solarium. This is very late.
Yeah, I was going to say, changing their push with only 43 seconds left in the round, they have to get this wall open, but there's a mute jump, and instead they're going to go for flood instead.
And inside they go, coded to hold on for 2 kills, traded back immediately as Bounson enters in from bathroom. A 2 versus 3 now for Bounson and Ethan. And as he dances around the corner, Ethan goes down, making it just Bounson left in the 1v3. He hunts down below, but Wookieman is simply too good. And a really nice recomposure there for DAMWON after that attempted late round rush.
The Chiefs stalling out there, seeing the setup that the Damon Kia had on that particular wall that they were trying to breach, saying, oh, okay, this is a bit risky, guys. Let's change our plan, but too little, too late for the Chiefs. Coded, he had their number. He had the shotgun up on the doorway that they were flooding through, finding 2 kills, and essentially locking in the round there for Damon Kia.
You can appreciate Chiefs' idea there, can't you? To go for that rotate. And I think you got to respect a team that can change their mind, but of course, too little, too late. Similar to what we saw in the second round. As we go downstairs now, it's Dining Kitchen. A shout out to our observer. We got at Skycasts on Twitter. Hey, Sky. I'm sure we'll get Diamond one day, bro. I know it's been a rough slog in the ranked, but I'm glad to see you back grinding the obs. And I know we'll get Diamond, I promise.
Damon Kia now taking it down to Kitchen and Dining, which is, I guess, a tertiary bomb site here for them, although it does get played out a lot, actually, and is typically quite strong for the defenders because the attackers have to work so hard to get that top floor control. We saw before in the top-down Katsang on the shotgun, opening up plenty of lines of sight into the bomb site, making sure that that default plan is just that much harder to get for the Chiefs.
Oh, so open hat strategy here for DAMWON. They're going to be relying on this roam game. rather than playing to fall back. And I wonder what's going to happen in this early round. It does feel like DAMWON are consistently getting the better in terms of opening picks over Chiefs here, which historically, back in the day, it was always DAMWON actually had a really abnormally high win rate when they didn't find the opening pick, when they were the opening death. And Chiefs tend to specialize in getting that opening engagement on their side. Bouncin and Worthy are two of the best players in APAC South at getting those opening kills. Funnily enough, we haven't seen that pattern show here. Bouncing already the opening death twice.
The Chiefs now shaping up for a fairly direct attack onto the site, actually, rather than sweeping through the map and trying to deny Cat's-eyeing these vertical lines. They're going to try to deny Rin inside this master bedroom instead and go for a trophy control type push instead. It's not something that we see that often, particularly when all three of the walls inside trophy have open lines of sight like that. They're very difficult for the attackers to contest down on the ground floor. See, these three walls here, when they're open, trophy window, that's nada. You can't jump in through there anymore. You have to find another way in. So this trophy attack, I'm not sure about this choice from the Chiefs. I really feel like it's playing into the setup that Damon Kia have got.
One thing that the Chiefs have going for them is this breach from the X-Kairos on that master wall from Solarium. Digital on the rappel has opened up that deep line of sight, exposing the positions of the DAMWON players on the top floor. And in tandem with this grenade, the removal of that castle barricade and the opening pick finally for the man that we expect it from. Looking for a double. It's Bouncin.
wow.
He does get it. Yas down on the floor.
Yes, now Downs leaves it in the 3 versus 5 for the Chiefs. Now starting to get control into that top floor. I think we've just seen Digital with the Hibana start to move into master bedroom. Oh, that being said, he has just connected a C4 from Coded. Oh, Ethan.
Ethan just barely misses that opportunity. It goes begging. At least for the Chiefs, this is essentially... oh, no, it's not. Yas has gotten picked up. How does that happen? Bouncer managed to finish him off, but not before the other player gets away. Worthy's managed to sneak into Trophy. It is a 3 versus 3. Advantage unclear at this point in time. This engagement, though, could be everything for the Chiefs. Man advantage on their side. Hatch open, but time, once again, is their biggest enemy as Worthy attempts to duel with these angles. It will be on Ethan to plant the diffuser as Worthy steps up for his team. Coded now in a 1 versus 3. Ethan goes down, but Bouncin, a monstrous round from him.
Bouncin definitely the man of the hour in that particular round, finding, I believe it was 4 kills in the end there. Finding 2 on the west main balcony means that that Damon Kia, they had to forfeit that top floor, and that allowed Worthy to find the timing into Trophy and really open up that execute for the Chiefs in the end there. So I was worried for them at the start, that I really thought that Worthy was not going to be able to make that entry through the Trophy window, but because so much attention was turned to Bouncin, he was able to find that timing into the bomb site. So well played from the Chiefs. And Damon Kia, I think for the first time in this series, making a major mistake, double peeking onto Bouncin there on the west main balcony.
It goes to show if Bouncin is not the opening death, he's usually the opening pick. Well, he's usually getting the opening pick. And usually when he does stay alive, he's good for more than one. He's good for a couple. I mean, staying alive. Sorry, a bit inner Queen fan coming out. But hey, Bouncin, he steps up. That's the thing that we have been talking about all stage long in APAC South. This is the guy that made a name for himself on the old Rafflecopter roster and then left that team. In end of stage 2 last year, he had stage 3, he took off. I think there were a lot of rumors going around that he was going to join the Chiefs when Vast retired. Of course, it was Ethan who ended up joining, but it didn't end up taking very long until Bouncin found his way onto this roster and showed his fragging potential, particularly in those opening engagements in APAC South.
Bouncin, a bit of a ranked demon, as we like to say here. He does play this game quite a lot.
He knows what he's doing.
Anything. He does know what he's doing. And Bouncin, here we go, the man of the hour, now entering into the basement, setting up the same double claymore into this. Oh, this is such a curious setup from Bouncin. But you know what? It makes me happy to see that double claymore come to use. Now clearing out some of the blue stairs utility, ready for that late game push, while the rest of the Chiefs start to loiter around the outside of the map.
And this bar attack previously did not work out so well for Chiefs. It was a waiting game. They didn't address head-on the top library stairs and top pillar on the mezzanine hold until very late in the round. And They ended up losing the round based on time. Let's see if they can correct their mistake. Let's see if they can play a little bit more proactively this round and ideally find that opening engagement.
Digital and Bouncin now doubling up on this storage line of sight to try and look for a pick, but Damwon here aren't going to make a mistake of that kind of sort. Coded, Rin and Katsang now still holding onto the site as well, and like you said, the Chiefs, they are not directly trying to clear any of this utility. They're still waiting to try and capitalize on a mistake from Damon Kia. That worked for them in their favor in the last round, yes, and one of his teammates eventually ended up peeking Bouncin, but this round looks a lot more disciplined from Damon Kia.
Worthy, you do not have smokes, my friend. You cannot burn through that Aruna gate. That is a claymore. It looks like Chiefs are intending to clear this top floor more proactively, however. Ethan's going to try and sneak in downstairs. Doesn't realize there's a goo mine. That's not bad. Yas now has an idea. He's on the hunt now, looking for Ethan. He has this hatch open as well to drop. In the late round, if Ethan tries to push in... Oh, there you go. Drone taken down. That does give Yas's position away, however, and we're still no closer to figuring out what Chiefs are actually intending to do.
Yeah, seems like the Chiefs not entirely decisive on where this execute is coming from. I'm not actually sure where Digital has taken the diffuser even. Has he taken it outside the double window? Okay, there we go. So this is what the Chiefs' plan is going to be. It's going to be explosive onto the site, trying to bring the diffuser into game. 20 seconds left to go. Can Digital get into the site?
Oh, Yas. Once again, steps up hugely. One of the best players in all of APAC, and he is still alive in the server as Chiefs continue to keep dropping down. Boydie loses his fight, and Digital not able to get that diffuser planted. Yas good for yet another kill. And a great round from DAMWON, once again easily taking that bug bomb site.
And I think that just goes to show that Damon Kia, when they make a mistake like the previous rounds, they go, okay, guys, we need to dial it back a little bit. Let's not make this same mistake again. Let's wait for the Chiefs. These guys, I think it was ED that commented, Australian teams are slow. I directly quote from ED. And so Damon Kia probably going, all right, these guys, the Aussies, they like taking their time. Let's just wait for them to run into our line of sight. 20 seconds left into the round. So Damon Kia, no more mistakes, and eventually able to win out that round with pretty much no time left to go.
The theme of this game for Chiefs attacks seems to be so far that they don't feel like they need to really do a lot in the round. They set up and they play. I mean, I feel like that could be misconstrued, but they are doing certain activities. They're all very passive activities that, you know, set up your flank watch, really hard, flicking all of their drones, try and sneak in bomb site, not bomb site, sneak into the map here, sneak into the map there. Don't actually just like head on address the setup that DAMWON have, trying to play to wait for an opportunity, to try and lure out an opportunity. And yeah, when DAMWON peak them, then Chiefs will absolutely take those picks and they'll be laughing. But when DAMWON sit and play patiently, when they read into that Chiefs playstyle, then it does leave Chiefs with 40, 30 seconds left in the round in a 5-on-5 with not enough map control for an execute.
Yeah, the Chiefs, this strategy, this approach that they have to the map, it typically works. The architecture of Chalet with so many windows and potentials for repels and cutoffs typically works, and that's where they're trying to get their players into, right? They always place their players in a position where they can play immediately off drones and immediately cutting off any rotations that the defenders might be trying to make. But when you play against a team of the caliber of Damwon Kia, who have played this map so many times, chances are whenever they play in their scrims, they run past the line of sight and go, okay, in the next match, I'm not running past that line, so I'm just going to sit tight and not make that mistake again. So yes, it will work against the less experienced teams, but against the teams like Damwon Kia, it's not going to work. So the Chiefs might have to change up their approach if they want to catch another attacking round on the board.
One thing Chiefs will absolutely be changing on this round, the final round of their attack half, to try and come away with an even scoreline, which by the way is really bare minimum here on Chalet. Oh no, the timing. Boydie almost loses his life there to Woogie Man. Worthy gets the better of him. That's a good start there for Chiefs. Now, fortunately for Chiefs, previously they didn't have the Hibana attacking this Master Office site. They need it. They have it this time. And, well, they also found themselves 2 picks. Like, I'm just going to stop talking, to be honest, Manny. I'll let you have it.
I was going to say, this is exactly what we needed from the Chiefs. Beforehand, like you said, too passive. No. Now, the Chiefs, they're pressing the attack onto Damwon Kia, which is exactly what they needed to do if they wanted to find any lead in this early round. Because Damwon Kia, they're not going to make any more mistakes, right? So now the Chiefs, they're up the man count, and it's about converting the round into a round win.
And now Chiefs can actually start getting to the main push, which is breaching with Hibana this main wall into Master from Solarium. And now they're doing it in a 5v3, which is even better.
And I think the wall is mute jammed, which is something that they're still taking their time to clear, though. I think you can hear those Hibana pallets kind of rattling on the wall there. So Boydie, he'll have to look for some kind of grenade or something to eventually get off the wall. I think he's just trying to spray his mag through the floor now.
no,
narrowly missing it. Boydie!
Boydie!
Oh no!
How much ammo has he got left? Is he going to be running low eventually? Got 3 magazines
wow.
left. It might not matter if this wall is open or not. If Chiefs can land these shots, 5v2 now, and poor Coded in the bathtub, his position revealed. Boydie says, I might not be able to shoot mute jammers, but I can certainly shoot you right in the face. Now it's Rin in a 1 versus 5. Known for always being on the front line of the engagements. He will now have to do it all himself, and this is a bit awkward, but there you go. Flawless round for Chiefs. And a great way for them to end the half. However, it is only a 3-3.
I'm really impressed with the way that Chiefs were able to adapt to the Damwon Kia defense there. I mean, I guess from an observer POV that we have, right, it seems fairly obvious what they need to do, right? The Chiefs, they just need to press the attack on them, make sure that they're actually taking gunfights, as silly as it sounds. But when you're in the lobby there and you're on your drones and you don't see anybody cross your line of sight or anything like that, it's very hard to dissect exactly what you need to do, right? So to the Chiefs' credit, it's good that they identified their mistakes and in that last round made sure that they had their entries in the building, boots in the building, ready to take those gunfights instead. So well played from them, excellent adaptation, and now brings it over to a 3-3 half, and they can start in kitchen and dining for their defense.
And one thing that perhaps many people don't really realize about Rainbow Six, this is a game where one playstyle does not fit all. Like, this is not a one-size-fits-all game. You cannot play the same against every single team. Your best chance of winning is to change your playstyle to adapt to your opponent. If you're playing as a team that loves to swing everything, then maybe just sit back and hold lines of sight, like Chiefs were doing. And perhaps that's a bit more what they expected from DAMWON, for DAMWON to be playing a little bit more loose and aggressively peeking them, getting overextended. And, well, Chiefs finally, like you said, adapted and started taking some more initiative. Now on their defense, though, I'm curious whether they're intending to play aggressive or to play passive. They have the Clash, though, the shield on Digital, which is something that we don't see every day.
And I actually want to double down on your point about one playstyle not fitting all, right? The Chiefs, they just came off a win from yesterday. So they've only had about 24 hours to prep for this game, right? So that's not as much time to prep into Damwon Kia's playstyle and try and figure out what they do. On the other hand, Damwon Kia, they've had about a week to prep for Chiefs or I suppose their opponent from yesterday, right? Yeah. Who they knocked out eventually. So Damwon Kia, they have had a little bit more time to prepare themselves for this matchup. So onus to the Chiefs, they figured it out in that last attack round, and now they're onto their defense, and they actually have Digital playing the Clash on this solar, these solar stairs, but actually no one to support him.
So this actually used to be something that Fisher Guy, the former player from Chiefs, used to do, usually in tandem with the Aruni, which I believe there are Surya gates on the windows. So Digital here can shoot the util off the wall. He can also block anyone trying to rappel in even, if he wishes to do so. And he is a very difficult player to remove if you are Damwon Kia.
Uh-oh, flashbang starts to come up from Katsang though, and a nade to follow up. Katsang, he does have the line of sight onto Digital, but that Clash Shield will protect him from it still, and Rin actually does find the first pick onto Ethan. We're not entirely sure where that was from, but Digital, he still holds strong here on the solar stairs.
Worthy, so low HP and gets sprayed.
Oh no.
Loses his life, as does Digital. Now the pressure is on Bouncin, who is eliminated. What a round from Damwon Kia. Rin and Katsang absolutely stood up for their team.
So he was on the stairs and he held up for so long. There was no support for him on the solar stairs. No one else was holding his line of sight, right? He was just waiting for the swing in through the windows. And so just unfortunate from the Chiefs. They had to start on the defense, but falling short to some silly mistakes.
And it seemed really strange to me, that setup from Digital. There were no Aruni gates on the solar windows, and there was no, I don't believe, ADSs to help protect him as well. So he really was at the mercy of whatever Damwon intended to do, with not a lot of utility to support. Now Damwon will have the advantage and be continuing their attacking side.
Yeah, that's what you need, you know? You don't want to like go on about that and have all your teammates talk you down or anything like that. I feel like players like him add so much value into the team dynamic that doesn't get seen in the scoreboard. And so, yeah, I just really want to give Digital credit here for keeping up, I guess, the vibes of this team and keep being exciting in all of these interviews and keeping up the energy. Now we are able to go back into the map, and Chiefs actually take us down to Wine and Cellar.
I'm just going to go and further the point you were making, right? That we need players like Digital, players that have the positivity to, even when you make a silly mistake, just keep on going. This is a tweet from Digital from after the game yesterday where they had a grueling 3-mapper over Sandbox and eventually won qualify for today. Digital said, "I was actually trolling last map. That truly tested my mental. Let's go, boys."
Yeah.
I mean, what a positive, like that's the
Absolutely.
attitude you need, right? That is how you bounce back. I mean, Digital impacted his own teammates. He whiffed. He, had a couple of big mistake rounds, and yet this team pulled through despite being reversed. Was it 6 or 5 rounds in a row that Sandbox won against them? They had the fortitude to bounce back and win out the series.
Wow, yeah, Digital has really shown up for this team just far outside the scoreboard. And yeah, I think we need to give credit to more teams like that. On the side of Damon Kia, though, they've got some characters for themselves as well, though. Rin, he's a bit of a troll, I must say. He is a bit of a troll sometimes. He does some very silly things.
I've heard a rumor.
Yeah.
I've heard a rumor that in scrims, when Rin gets a nice shot, he will NS himself in the auction.
Oh dear. Okay, Damon Kia. Now Thatcher has actually slipped through the ban phase, which has allowed them to open up the main breach going into
the
reveal garage. I think this is a rush from Yas.
Or at least a rush bait, perhaps. Like, no one from DK is actually going in yet. Remember, there is a Glaz on this lineup. Perhaps it's a bait to try and force Chiefs to use their util. I mean, what a combination here.
This is kind of genius, honestly. If they have any C4s, now's the time that they'd be throwing them out, right? Because they think the rush is happening.
No.
But they've done a miscalculation. The smoke does go down, and Ethan will find the first pick onto Katsang, and that's your Ossa shield down as well.
Oh, some misplaced smoke grenades. And yeah, absolutely. The diffuser is down, so now DAMWON have to commit to this. That's the final smoke thrown out. Woogieman having nades. And this position on the main stairs of Ethan is so dangerous to Damon Kia. Now they sit there thinking, well, what on earth are we going to do? It seems a rotate is on the cards. They need to find picks. They need some extra map control. Otherwise, this simply ain't going to work.
Absolutely, and I think a big point that they'll have to clear here is Worthy. Actually, we saw in the top floor here in Heaven, he had a long line of sight. He actually opened with his impact hole a small hole through the floor that saw into the breach where that diffuser was. There we go. It's the one that Coded is at the moment. That was made by Worthy from his impact. So he'll have to be cleared if they want to retrieve that diffuser again. Coded actually finds one of the roamers on this rotation. Yas to double down as well, but Digital to find one back onto Yas. So 3-on-3 here for Damon Kia and Chiefs.
Maybe more than enough for Digital. Worthy though on the main stairs. He comes to life. He's having a big impact. He gets another one. Rin goes down. It's only the Woogieman. He could be the Boogeyman, but he's going to have to find 3 kills. Worthy is there, and he sprays him on down. What a round for the Chiefs. A beautiful counter to that rush. They can get back on the horse. 4 rounds apiece.
The Chiefs, they didn't panic. They didn't waste all of their utility once they saw that all those smokes and the Yin Candela went down. I feel in that moment it could have been easy for Bouncin just to straight up go, for Boydie with his C4 on the mute to just go, okay, let's just throw that into the smoke. Hail Mary play, try and use it. But no, he actually waited. He held it in his hand in connector, even though he used flash, and he waited to see, okay, are they actually going for this? I haven't heard the plant go down yet, so I will not throw this out yet. It made sure that Ethan came down and he actually had the chance to find the kill onto Katsang through the smoke. So the Chiefs playing the patient game, the absolute patience of it, and Worthy as well. He didn't rush back onto the site. He went, okay, I can support from other avenues, right? Instead, makes a hole through the floor. Same thing with Ethan, making sure he held control of the ground floor. So the Chiefs, they don't panic. They have a lot of composure going into this game.
You gotta say, I like that strat from DAMWON. I really do. The Ying, the Glaz, the Ossa, like 6 smokes or 4 smokes, like a whole bucket. I really like it, but I like even more the way that Chiefs played into it and countered it and didn't get over it ahead of themselves. Now, though, we go back to kitchen and dining. We've seen Chiefs try to defend this before to no success.
This time the Chiefs changing up their lineup a little bit though. Digital no longer on this flash pick and is now elected to take the Frost instead. Lots of shields here to support this top floor hold, and this time actually the hatch reinforced for the Chiefs, also a slightly different approach from Damon Kia as well. So looking to make this top floor powerful for the Chiefs with long lines of sight going to office as well. So Damon Kia will see what they have to show for this.
Trying to clear out some frost mats, I believe, is Katsang. Also taking out the default camera in Solarium. Ooh, good early pick for Rin. He's been on fire this game. They don't quite see all the kills due to the rehost, but what we know for sure is that Rin tends to always find a pick from that west main window.
There it is. Yep, the death from the west main window, just like you said. The Chiefs, they're making mistakes. This is not a kind of line of sight that you want to be crossing with the caliber of Rin holding it, right? So Yas is actually starting to shape up to take the top floor as well. The Gone 6 to entry in, but hasn't found anything yet. And the grenade goes out, but will not connect and have to jump back on the drones and recollect his ideas.
That grenade at least will take out the bulletproof camera that was watching him. Bouncin can get the trade back onto Rin, and now the Chiefs on the back of that pick will start to fall back, start to forfeit this map control, give it up to Damwon Kia, but of course that means that they will escape with their lives to live and fight another day.
Katsang now with the buck as well, as long as he doesn't step into this frost mat. Okay, that was a bit close. Can now start to work the vertical into the site as well. I was feeling a bit worried for him there, but it turned out all right. So, yep, the buck can start being put to use, and Digital is about to be in a world of pain there in the kitchen.
This vertical game is going to be great, but also the flank watch needs to be on point. Ooh, Yas goes down. That's a big pick. That was the player on for flank watch. Digital does end up going down, so there you go. In fact, a nice vertical line from the rappel. And on top of that, the hatch going to be opened. Is Bouncin still upstairs loitering though? No, he's actually gone all the way into the basement. So the Chiefs are looking to try and retake this site, forfeiting completely the top floor pressure. As I say that, of course, they're going to prove me wrong. And here comes Ethan all the way up the main stairs.
Well, Damon Kia now, they're starting to mount their attack onto the trophy side of the building. No feet inside trophy yet, but there we go. Katsang starting to make his way down the solarium stairs will mean he can use the buck to start making an entry hole into the site. The rest of the Chiefs now shaped up for the retake. Damon Kia, is your execute happening yet?
The final E1D has been used now. And in comes the execute. It's a quiet one. The nice rotate opened. Now Katsang has to cover. The big danger here is that Ethan is above, and he does deny the plants. And now this round is well and truly in the hands of the Chiefs. An attempt at replanting for Wookie Man, but it ain't gonna happen. The Chiefs have strung together 2 rounds in a row.
Huge oversight there for Damon.
Chances for Damwon to have drones watching that flank. A drone outside lobby, a drone inside lobby, a drone at the top of mezzanine, a drone in reading, a drone in the piano hallway, a drone in piano, a drone in master, or a drone office. I mean, I can rattle off forever. There could have been drones in all those positions. Perhaps there were, perhaps no one was watching it, but I think it's safe to say that the Chiefs had done a strong enough job at countering those drones, and Damwon hadn't been vigilant enough on that flank watch to engage that plant.
Well, I think, okay, to make a very nitty-gritty point here about that particular plant, maybe they did know that Ethan was coming through the top floor, right? But where Coded tried to plant was under a part where the hatch doesn't really see because it's blind spotted by the chassis below in kitchen, right? So maybe Coded went in thinking, okay, this should still be fine. They still can't see me from the vertical, forgetting that Katsang beforehand had gone and done work on the ceiling with the buck, right? So now suddenly there is a line of sight there. So to the Damwon Kia's credit, that is a very small oversight that eventually lost them the round, even if they had intel on Ethan's.
Goes to show even a tiny mistake can be so critical in this game. A headshot through a wall, a line of sight you might have opened, a tiny break in the floor or in a wall make all the difference. Now Master Office picked by the Chiefs, who are 1 round off map point on Damwon Kia's map pick. A huge opportunity presented to the Chiefs, but Damwon should be on the favored side. It is Chalet attack after all.
Rin again on this balcony. He's just been so successful so far on these cutoffs. He's found picks 2 rounds in a row. Oh, this time has run out, immediately proving us wrong. Actually, Bouncin, he does finally get the read on his counterpart of Rin, because beforehand it was Bouncin playing that power position, but Digital unfortunately going down to even out the man count.
Won't take long before DAMWON will even up that scoreline. And now really feeling the pressure is the Chiefs as Yas goes down on the balcony. Ethan, one of the few players tasked with holding the site, and he does so well. Man advantage for the Chiefs now as these 3 remaining DAMWON players see what openings they might be able to find.
Very quiet part of the round here. Now still 2 players shaped up on the solar side of the map though for Damon Kia. now falling off the rappel as well. Perhaps looking for a rotate, says Damon Kia.
Oh.
Up into West Main, perhaps, but they will have to clear out Bounce.
Oh, no!
Oh, no, Woogie Man.
A slight miss of the shot. Bounce and droned out, but not punished as of yet, as Damwon Kia start to move into Trophy, start to move into West Main, and they will have to file up these Solarium stairs. Time ticking on down. Still plenty to work with, but you can't dilly-dally here. They have to have a strong execute. Coded now rotating to the window. Damwon Kia have plenty of drones up, but don't seem to have much information on the site. Katsung's actually taken that diffuser and seems to be going to the lobby side. Perhaps to just get some vertical lines of sight. 30 seconds left now. I mean, this execute better come right now.
And Boydie's still sitting in the closet as well, holding onto these solar stairs, and he sees two as well. Damon Kia, have you run out of time?
Oh, but they might be able to find the picks, so it may not matter. Boydie, he's got the line of sight. He does land the shots. Can he find the second? Bouncing's taken out Katsung, and now in the 1 versus 2 for Coded, he's got to find the last player. There's less than 7 seconds left. Does he plant or does he play? He's got to go for the kill. He tries to get this diffuser planted, but now 7 seconds for Worthy. Oh my God, Worthy. You better check your corners, mate. Thankfully, he does, but guess what, Mandy? The Chiefs have match points.
Oh, wow. I cannot believe that the Chiefs have finally clawed their way back to match point, blowing around for round, making so many silly mistakes in the early round on the defense, but it doesn't matter if you've got someone as sharp as Boydie there sitting in that closet power position. Wow, what an incredible showing from the Chiefs, maintaining composure, maintaining their discipline, and eventually able to win out the rounds on time.
What we thought was to be an attacker-sided map has turned up in spades for Chiefs on the defense, forcing Damwon Kia at a 2-round deficit to take their tactical timeout. They're literally sitting next to each other. Literally right there. And no doubt their coach is going to come in as well. I can't actually see the coach. I don't know if Houndbird would be giving them much advice, or if this is more onto some of the leadership figures within this team, players such as Yas and Woogie Man, to give their thoughts. No second chances here, Mandy. It is Damwon's own map pick. Match point is held against them.
It might be Damwon's map pick, but I really feel that Chiefs have got Damwon's number. Beforehand, we saw lots of players fall to Rin on that West Main balcony, right? Making mistakes like that. But this time, Bouncer went, okay, I know what's going to happen in this round. And he had the perfect counter to it, right? So the Chiefs, they're starting to key into the way that Damwon Kia play this particular map. And Damwon Kia, they need to dig a little bit deeper into that strat book to try and make some changes, try and alter the way that they play to match the energy of the Chiefs here on Chalet.
This does really feel like these two teams had an agreement. All right, we are going to play maps that both of us are good at. And we're going to give you everything we've got. The Chiefs have absolutely shown that here. Like you said, what a read. Time on after time, Rin gets picks from West Main balcony. Bouncer's like, hey, I could probably time a run out on that. And it works. What about now, though, for Chiefs on this Bar Gaming defense? The only bomb site on their defense that they have not yet played nor won. They could be going back to Snowmobile Wine, but instead they elect to take this risk.
When the Chiefs attacked this, they weren't able to find much success in the early round to mid round. Damon Kia, they weren't running into their lines of sight. They weren't making any silly rotations that they were able to catch each other out on, and holding strong on all of those shields. The Chiefs, they seem to be replicating quite a similar strategy to Damon Kia, holding a few players on the other side, making sure they can't get early control, but those power positions are still there for them. Coded now, getting control into the snowmobile garage with those Hibana X Kairos, but the rest of Damon Kia also looking to reconvene on that top floor, try and find the pick through the windows, and Rin even this time actually has the Flores, which is something that we didn't see from the Chiefs to clear those shields.
No, we haven't. Might be perfect as well. What's Rin just managed to clear? I think he's actually using it to go and create some lines of sight downstairs. What is this setup from the Chiefs, and how will Damwon deal with it? Yas at the moment may well have a play. Surely he doesn't just file into bomb site.
That would be a bit scary, a bit exciting.
Is he going for it?
I think he is.
Here comes the E1D, the Lion scan, and the chance for Yas. He's in the bomb site, guys! And he's just taken out the only anchor that Chiefs had. Digital down. That diffuser is getting planted, and Yas has got to cover. He doesn't do it quite so well, and the diffuser will be planted. A 3-on-3 as the retake must happen now from the Chiefs. They might be able to do it. It's match point on their side in a 3v1. And now an opportunity is held before them. It's on Katsung. A 1 versus 3 in the post plan to save the map. 1v2, but that is the Chiefs, and that is why they are the best team in OS. They can take Damwon Kia on their own map pick and be just one map away from the major.
Damwon Kia, they were not ready for the Australians in blue here on Chalet, taking them to the Chiefs, one of their best maps as well. You don't challenge the Chiefs on Chalet.
You certainly do not. And these boys will be ecstatic knowing how close they are. Might be